Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Gemini energy, and like usual, we're going to do two rows. The top row is going to be high vibe Gemini energy. The bottom row is going to be a more worldly, shadowy Gemini energy. We've all got our dualistic nature. We battle within ourselves about what our truth is and moving forward in life differently because, life's about making choices in our free will, which is what Gemini's about. And, if we choose option A, we can't choose option B. And some people are really struggling within themselves about that. They can't decide how to live their life or who to hang out with or what to base their life on, what to manifest from. Is it hope and faith and belief and love? Or is it more about my defensive nature, me, the world, ego, image, money? So some people could be battling within themselves. Other people have picked their path. Some people are doing hope and faith and belief and love. Some people are doing themselves, ego, image, self-defensiveness, And then there's the people that are going back and forth and still haven't picked a path. But there's going to be some people who are moving forward in high vibe energy. There's probably going to be some, they're going to leave their own shadowy nature behind. And they're maybe going to disconnect from some ways of being and viewing life, and maybe then some people in their life, because they're kind of not on the same page anymore. So let's go see what's going on. For the top row, the reason for the top row's reading is fear, which I do look at as like an 8 or 9 of swords, which is Gemini energy. We can all have fear about moving into unknown territory. The bottom row can represent how we've been living our life, kind of a pattern we've been repeating and staying in our comfort zone. And in order to move forward in life differently, we have to face our fears about moving forward in life differently, just like we did age 15, going to age 18, age 18, going to 21, age 21, going to 25. It's also the reason why the reading came out. And, we can live our life a certain way. And the reason for the bottom row's reading is victim mentality, which is reminds me of 5 of Pentacles energy, which is Taurus energy, which is, we kind of have a philosophy of life, a way that we view the world. But eventually, if we keep living our life the same way we've been living our life, it can feel like it is our fear that's holding us back. Why am I not moving forward in life a little bit differently? Why am I not working through some of my fears and my insecurities and my self-limiting beliefs to free myself from it? Because high vibe energy is about freeing yourself from those things that manipulate you, to be independent of those things. Why do I keep living my life or viewing life the way I do, or staying in certain jobs, friendships, and relationships, when as time has gone by, it might have been, it was great to be 15, but eventually we kind of wonder, why am I not becoming more like an 18-year-old? And we go through this process throughout our life. And then we keep staying where we're at, and we kind of feel like it's no longer as abundant, as great as it was when we first started living our life that way, right? And it's kind of like our intuition telling us it's time for you to move forward in life differently. Do that inner work, look through some of your fears, your insecurities, and your self-limiting beliefs. It's time for you to move forward in life differently, but you have to be willing to expand your perception of yourself, the world around you, how you view life, and kind of work through why you wouldn't move forward in life differently. And the people who did do that are ready to detach from an old way of viewing life or living life, to close out a cycle, to have that new beginning. So in the top row, we have friends and colleagues, discovery, behind a mask, decrease. So we might decide to align with our more hopeful, believing nature, listening to our intuition, taking a look at what we bring to the table and our unique talents, skills, and interests, and our hopeful, believing, loving nature. The way I read tarot is the masculine figures can represent our more worldly, egoic nature, and the feminine figures can represent how we think and feel. And we do this work to figure out, why am I not more authentically myself? Why don't I shine my authentic light? And the behind the mask with a feminine figure can represent how we hide from maybe pursuing those things that really do drive and motivate us, that we do love. Why do I stay in this job, which I might have liked, but now I'm ready to go for a new job? Why? What is it that holds me back from believing I have the talents, the skills, and things like that to work through those issues, to realize what I need to let go of, and how my own fears, my own insecurities, my own self-limiting beliefs it's going to keep taking from me. I'm going to keep staying in lack mentality. I'm going to keep staying in the same jobs, friendships, or relationships that I'm in if I don't work through this. And High Vibe Gemini and the 8 and 9 of Swords is, instead of working through getting out of being up in your head about it, to putting work and effort into listening to love and intuition to guide you through it. And that's when we kind of realize in the decrease card, the things emotionally that we could be attached to, whether that's our fear and insecurity, our codependent nature, just realizing what we need to let go of. And that can be things that we've outgrown, old fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs, and aren't maybe defensive nature. And the people in our life that, if we have people in our life that we would like to have move forward with us, and maybe they're not moving forward with us, we can only work with people who are working together with us. And so we have to kind of emotionally detach from holding on to some people who might be people that we view as loving and maybe are loving, but maybe they're still dealing with their own issues and they're not willing to let go of anything yet, or detach from some things that they need to detach from. And we don't want to have it keep us stuck in ego, which is kind of what the behind the mask can be. So it's if some of the people that I would like to have working with me, doing this with me, aren't doing it with me, I have to believe that God's got another plan for me. We come in contact with all these different people in the world to help us to learn lessons from them and to help us get clear about what our truth is. We come in their life to help them get clear about what their truth is. And sometimes if they're not working together with us to move forward, then, maybe maybe they still have some issues to work through that we have worked through. Maybe we were willing to detach from some things and ways of viewing life or living life that they're not yet willing to detach from. Maybe they could still be a little bit more caught up in their defensive nature or egoic nature. And we face our fears to trust that maybe we've learned everything we were meant to learn from them. And if they're not in our life, it could be God's way of saying, you've been there, you've done that, or you've been in relationships with people who are like that, if someone new were to come in your life, you've been there, you've done that, and maybe you've learned everything you were meant to learn, and then you take the lessons that you learned from that life experience to listen to truth and intuition to keep guiding you, and we listen to our intuition about when we're ready to You know, this person's standing on a cliff, feminine figure, so that can be how people are thinking and feeling, you know, to jump back in the water. You know, and part of it can be about listening to our intuition, because the water can represent the emotional, intuitive realm. If we, you know, part of the reason why we can be fearful of moving forward in life and listening to our intuition again is to guide us, is because we listened to our intuition before, and then maybe some of those relationships didn't work out the way we wanted. Well, the whole thing is, we had lessons learned from those people. The relationship with some of the people I got in relationships with before, what did I learn about myself? Did I learn that I had some issues to work through, that maybe I had a lack mentality? I hadn't learned to deal with some of my fears and insecurities, and that's why I initially even could have gotten into, you know, we're all at certain stages of our worldly nature of healing and growing and maturing ourselves, and we could get in relationships with people where we're kind of on the same page as them. The way we view life, our philosophy of life, but we had our own issues. The people we got in a relationship with had their own issues. And maybe the other people we could have been in a relationship with would have been happy to keep moving forward in that way. But as we went, we kind of realized, I think I might be staying in this more out of fear or insecurity, or the people I'm in relationship with want me to stay in this relationship more out of fear and insecurity or codependency. And I don't like feeling like I'm staying in a job or a friendship or a relationship for those reasons. And I certainly don't like it if someone is trying to instill fear and insecurity, you know, that I could be in a relationship with someone, but they want to keep moving forward just the way it's been, and they don't want to detach from anything to move forward in life any differently. And I'm starting to feel manipulated or controlled or limited or restricted, or I'm realizing that could be why I keep staying in it. You know, and high vibe people don't like to feel like they're being manipulated by themselves or others. So they do this work within themselves. What is it that makes me feel, is it me? You know, high vibe people don't just blame the people they're in relationship. Well, I feel left out in the cold. I feel these ways. You know, some of my fears or insecurities are bubbling up. You know, high vibe people first take a look at themselves. They align with their loving, intuitive nature to do this work. You know, do I love myself? Do I believe in myself? Am I bringing good things to the table? You know, with this, it's kind of like someone panning for gold and the golden nuggets, and really the things that truly make us not an animal and not a computer is our creative, inspired nature. How we use our emotions, what thoughts and emotions we choose to sit in every day. Are we in hopeful, believing, loving energy? Are we being warm and encouraging and supportive to ourselves and to the people we're in relationship with? And first they do that within themselves to work through their own issues, to free themselves from it. And then they probably offer that cup of love to the people in their life, saying, you know, I've done this work within myself. I've freed myself from some of the things that used to manipulate me, and I'm ready to move forward in this new way in truth and love. Do you want to come with? And that's when we can see that we're kind of on different pages in our philosophy of life, that maybe some of them are a little bit more wanting to operate from their egoic nature, maybe be a little bit more about themselves, or kind of like to be a little manipulative, or could be a little stubborn, could be a little full of themselves, kind of use their emotions manipulatively, or they want to just stay in the relationship, but they want to do it just the way it's been. Like, no, let's not do anything any different. Because in order to move forward with you in that way, I would also have to work through some of my issues, and I would have to work through it. And you have to have a desire to even want to work through those issues. The truth sets us free. Love and hope and faith and belief are the answers to working through our issues. And, you have to bring things into the light. You have to deal with them. And some of those things we'd rather keep hidden in the dark. Taurus, this victim mentality card being like the Five of Pentacles, which is Taurus energy, is fixed sign energy. We get in jobs, friendships, and relationships. And when we're in them, we kind of align with our more Taurus energy earth sign, I believe, because it is fixed sign energy. We put work and effort to make things work. Virgo energy is the aspect of ourself that helps us keep growing and healing and maturing ourselves, and, close out old phases of ways of viewing life to go to the next phase of life. High vibe Gemini energy, hope and faith and belief in love and what we're trying to manifest, continue to grow it and mature it to manifest it. So the discovery card could be like Virgo energy, which is earth sign energy. So it's appropriate that it's kind of represented by a masculine figure because it's earth sign energy, kind of the worldly, egoic nature. But we do this work to deal with the truth of things. And high vibe people want to free themselves as they go through life, just like we did age 15, 18, 21 to 25. There's certain things that need to go because we've gotten complacent. We've gotten stagnant. We are not growing or maturing ourselves. This phase of life and way of viewing life or living life, it's time to shed some of those old ways to give birth to something new, to keep going with the flow, for things to keep growing and healing and deepening and maturing over time. And we as human beings need to do that. But that's when we can find out there's a different philosophy of life. And sometimes we did get in relationships with people who their philosophy of life is more about, you could look at the friends and colleagues as like a Three of Cups, Three of Pentacles. The foundation that people operate from is more aligned with putting in work and effort to keep living life more from their worldly egoic nature. So kind of aligning with their more worldly nature, maybe using their emotions in a more manipulative way to get what they want, more focused on the long-term goal of status or image or indulgence than growing and healing and maturing. And we didn't realize that because some people try to present themselves as harnessing high vibe energy, like, oh yeah, I'm willing to bring that dream into reality in hope and faith and belief and love, give birth to something new. But they could have just been creating an illusion. They could have just wanted to get in relationships with people who are more giving and loving and nurturing or just or fair. It's great to be in relationships with people like that. But that might not be the truth of the foundation and philosophy of life that they align with within themselves. Gemini energy is a dualistic sign about our free will of what we align with within ourselves. And Taurus energy is about our philosophy of life. The high vibe people harness high vibe Taurus energy of really wanting to walk the talk and grow to their full potential emotionally, spiritually, creatively. Taurus energy is about these things of the world that we want, but are we willing to sacrifice listening to our intuition? Even though our intuition could be saying, you need to move forward. This has become stagnant and stale. And some people are like, I don't care what my intuition tells me. I'm going to keep living life like this. And other people are like, my intuition is telling me there's something wrong here. And you might be willing to keep staying in it because of your own fears or insecurities or your ego or your want more for these things of the world more than living your more authentic life or being independent of those things. And, it takes work and effort to free yourself from some of those things. And that's when we can realize that though there could have been a lot of good things about it, it could have been a long-term situation, that at a core foundational level, maybe in our Gemini and Taurus energy, we kind of, when push comes to shove, are we going to move forward working through some of these issues within ourselves and between us to move forward and give birth to something new, to have a new beginning? Because the 9 and the 10 of swords is, if we keep working through it and we work through those last two issues that could be the stumbling block, which is, what is my truth? What more drives and motivates me? Is it my defensiveness to love and wanting to protect myself? Is that my truth? Am I really kind of more about ego and image and money or indulgence or me? Do I have hope and faith and belief and love? And so that's why we can be in relationships with people for a long time. And for a long time, it can seem like, because it can work out good for a long time until we get down to that core foundational truth of what drives and motivates us at a core foundational level in our philosophy of life. Is it truth and love and justice and fairness and growing and healing and maturing? Or is it like, I'm good, I just want to stay here. I guess maybe I am more about me. Maybe I am more about indulgence. Maybe I am more about money and materialism. And then those people decide they're going to go try to find someone who's kind of on the same page as them, wanting to make their life about that. And the other people are like, well, I'm not going to keep living my life like that. And I am going to face my fears. It's like, I'm not willing to let go of my dreams because of my fear. If I'm in relationship with people and they don't want to move forward with me and keep growing and healing and maturing this relationship, then I'm going to let go of them. And then this hand is kind of reminding me of the Page of Cups. Love is what sets us free. It does get me up in my head. It does cause me some fear and some insecurities, but I wish you peace because I've seen the truth. What drives and motivates you and how you want to live your life is different than how I want to live my life and what drives and motivates me. So I'm going to wish you peace. I'm going to communicate to other people in my life. This is how I'm going to move forward. Aligning, focusing on truth and love, than being up in my head, in my fear, in my insecurity, in my pride, in my ego, in my codependent nature. Who wants to come with? Who else is willing to kind of come out from behind the mask and be authentic and loving and face their fears with me? And I'm going to move forward with the people in my life who are doing this work within themselves to move forward with me in this way. And the people who aren't, I wish you peace. I'm moving on. So let's go look at the bottom row. We have loss, new supportive connections, playing it safe, joyous fun, and then professional assistance. So, we've all gone through life experiences where, one job didn't work out, a friendship didn't work out, a romantic relationship didn't work out, right? And we all, I think the hardest lesson to learn is to love yourself. And Gemini energy and high vibe energy is about love. And we can all have been in our more codependent nature. We can all have wanted to be in friendships and relationships and have a job. And when things didn't work out, and then we meet some other people in the new supportive connections, that can seem great, and it might give us, we could have a lot of things in common, but maybe Did we listen to our intuition when we got in some of those friendships or relationships? Was our intuition telling us, I don't know, I think we might be on different pages. I think we might kind of be inspired. I kind of look at the joyous fun as like an Eight of Wands, Sagittarius energy. We might be someone who is kind of inspired to help others, and we could like try to change people's philosophy of life. They might be someone who's not inspired maybe by hope and faith and belief and love, and they like to maybe be in relationships with people who offer them love and encouragement, but they don't align with that within themselves to maybe work through their own issues. And then that can be a role and a pattern of a way of relationship that we're used to. It's like, oh my gosh, there's someone, you could be kind of a more creative, inspired, hopeful, believing person. Like, oh my gosh, there's someone who experienced a loss. Oh my gosh, there's someone who's sad, or there's someone who kind of is a little defensive to opening up. And oh my gosh, I'm going to come in and I'm going to change their philosophy of life. I'm going to love them. And, but that can kind of be us being in our ego and not wanting to deal with the truth that people are the way they are. And as we go through life and we do all this debate within ourselves about what we align with and what kind of person we are, and some people have come out over here that I have hope and faith and belief and love, and the other people did the same thing, but they came out over here. It's like, no, I'm defensive to love. No, I might have some of these shadowy traits or characteristics. I might be more about me. I might be prideful. I might be egotistical. Whatever. I'm immature, The whole thing is people have learned different lessons than other people in life. And the people who have freed themselves from some of the things that stop them from being more loving and giving and nurturing and supportive, can get in relationships with people who haven't freed themselves from those things to make them a more loving, hopeful, believing person. And it's very hard to change people's philosophy of life. That has been imprinted and ingrained upon them day after day after day after day, that they came to the conclusions they came to, while other people came to the conclusions they came to. And they're kind of like opposing ways of viewing life. And if you want to build a stable foundation, it's supposed to be built on love. And some people aren't building their life on love. Some people are like, I haven't learned to love and believe in myself yet. I look to get in relationships with other people to make me feel better. But I don't ever want to move forward being more creative and inspired, or working through my issues, or getting the professional help I need. I just look to get in relationships to make me feel better. And I love it when I find those people who are really loving and nurturing and encouraging, who keep thinking one day I am going to change my philosophy of life. And as long as they keep thinking that, then they harness the Sagittarius energy in a shadowy way. It's like, hey, this works for me. I'll keep indulging myself in this relationship. You want to keep trying to put in a lot of work and effort to make me change? Perfect. And in the meantime, you're going to be this self-disciplined, loving, nurturing, warm person. Hey man, that works for me. And they'll just keep being exactly who they are. And the other people will keep like, oh no, one day they're going to love and appreciate and want to do the relationship the way I do it. Why aren't we getting in relationships with people who challenge us? And that's where it can kind of be us and our ego. Oh no, look, I'm this loving, nurturing person. Look, I'm in this relationship with these people. And that's what some people are doing now. The only difference is like a fine line between people who are operating from a foundation of hope and faith and belief and love, and people who aren't. That's why you could have been attracted to someone. In a lot of ways, they could seem like they're a high vibe person, that they're this loving, nurturing, encouraging person. And when you could have been in a relationship with them, it could have seemed like they were this loving, nurturing person. But the difference is is that the people who are a little more worldly and shadowy, they don't want, they might be okay with you healing and growing in some ways, but they want you to keep staying, aligning with your more, maybe more codependent, not really loving and believing in yourself, to free yourself from the things that manipulate you. Certainly not the things that still manipulate them, because they don't plan to do the work to free themselves from it. So we can get in relationships with people who seem like they might even be at a higher level of life than us, like emotionally or maturity-wise or self-discipline-wise. And then we put in this work and effort to kind of get on the same level as them. We grow, we heal, we mature ourselves, we work through our own fears and insecurities and past pain and heartbreak, and we excitedly tell them, oh my gosh, I kind of got to the same place that I view you as being. And then that's when it can instill fear in those other people. It's well, I didn't expect you to I really maybe never thought you were going to work through some of your issues. And some people like playing the parent to the child or the teacher to the student role in people's life. And when the people they're in a relationship with kind of heal and grow and mature themselves, where now those people have learned to love and appreciate themselves and work through some of their issues and detach from some of their fears and insecurities that they used to have. And they're ready now to move forward differently in the relationship. That can be when the other people don't like it. It's well, to a degree, I'm fine with just this, because then the teacher has to become the student, right? And parents rebel against their parents. And then sometimes parents can have a hard time kind of adjusting to the fact that a child of theirs no longer wants to be parented. It's well, that's a whole different relationship dynamic. And the same thing can happen in relationships where people are I either want to be in relationships with people where I'm kind of indulged in my lack mentality or my ego mentality or my worldly mentality. I have some unresolved issues I haven't worked through, but I think I'm okay. I think I can get in relationships, and I'm just looking for someone who wants to play that role in my life. And some of you could have played that role in people's life, and eventually it's you kind of just realize, but the dream really isn't going to ever come into reality. This is the relationship dynamic. I could be the loving, encouraging person, and you don't work through your inner issues to quit whatever shadowy nature you might have, or work through some of your fears or your lack mentality, or deal with some of your past pain and heartbreak, which affects how the decisions they make in a relationship, because those things aren't things that they've worked through. So they could make decisions, because Taurus energy dictates the actions that we take in life because of our philosophy of life and how we view things. And some people just are immature players. They definitely got some growing up and healing and maturing to do and things to work through. But they could free willingly choose, this is how I view a relationship. I'm supposed to be able to be like this, and they're supposed to be people. And Taurus energy can be, and people who did align with their more worldly, egoic nature a lot, they could have put a lot of work and effort to have a lot of status or image or things like that. And then that can be their philosophy of life. I did this work to have these things. And loving, nurturing people also kind of want some of those things of the world. It's kind of more like a transactional relationship. Well, I have this and you have that, so let's work together in a relationship. I maybe haven't found people who are motivated by the things that really drive and motivate me. You maybe didn't find someone who's more aligned with how you want to live your life. So we're not really on the same page, but let's be in a relationship anyway. And they would kind of be willing to stay in it because they kind of get the best of both worlds, right? They get to be whatever way they are. And then they have somebody loving and encouraging in their life. But the loving and encouraging people don't get their dream because they're not in a relationship with someone who's on the same page as them. And eventually, they're willing to deal with the truth of it. My dream isn't going to come into reality here, is it? And by worldly standards, in a lot of ways, this could have provided me stability, security. It could have provided me a loving, stable kind of environment for me to do this work within myself. But when we get down to the core foundational issues in the relationship of how we view life and what drives and motivates us, is kind of realizing that they might like to stay in it more because it works for them in a lot of ways, but they don't want to free themselves from anything more. And that's when some high vibe people can leave the relationship. Some of you already did that, and there's some people that are in some type of work dynamics, friendships, or relationships that are realizing this, and they're going through what some of you have gone through. Do I love and believe in myself? Maybe I should just stay in this because, it is kind of good. It works in a lot of ways. I'm in a relationship. I've got a job. It has stability, security. I could be in a relationship with someone who wants me to stay in a relationship with them. But I just feel like it's not, the Five of Pentacles is like half of the Ten of Pentacles. It might have all these things of the world that we could want, but spiritually and emotionally and creatively and all that, it could really be lacking. So, it could be a more, and initially we maybe didn't think so because initially we were putting work and effort into, and people could heal and grow and mature in some ways, but it could end up where we feel like it's more superficial and shallow. But they could be afraid of what if, I leave this relationship, will I find another relationship? And the whole thing is, it's like, how do you want to live your life? Whether you find a new relationship or not. Do I want to stay in something where I feel like my dreams are passing me by? The dream I had somewhere along the way. Maybe people got in a relationship just because they wanted to be in a relationship because there wasn't people around that seemed to be on the same page as them. And some people could have even told themselves, boy, if the right person comes along, I would leave this relationship. Well, we're emotionally complex human beings and, plus we grow fond of people and we love people, and then our ego gets involved and all those things, that it kind of gets us in this conundrum. So there could be some people that are in shadowy energy right now, could be in relationships with other people, or they're just this is their philosophy of life. They could kind of wonder if they made some high vibe people an offer, if you'd kind of align with your more egoic nature, competitive, lustful, prideful, fearful nature. There's people who could want to be in a relationship with some high vibe people, but they'd only want to work with them and make them an offer if you will kind of stay in denial of the truth and live this life of illusion where you don't make them deal with their fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs or grow or heal or mature themselves anymore. And some of those people are just waiting for you to kind of give up on yourself, to quit believing in yourself. And if you did that, then they'd get in a relationship with you. Some of those people are sitting kind of in their pride and ego, not working together with you because they're not willing to work with you so long as you keep focused on truth and love. And they could just be waiting for you to give up on your dreams, to come back and do the relationship the way they want you to do it. Or, there's just other people in the world too that you don't even know that's like, yeah, I'd get in a relationship with you if you'd quit maintaining balance within yourself, loving yourself, believing in yourself. I'd invest in getting in a relationship with you, but I want to stay emotionally operating from my more defensive nature or egoic nature. And some high vibe people are like, no. If that's where you're at, then I wish you peace, but I'm letting you go. Because I do believe that we, as human beings, are able to manifest things into reality. And I've already been there and done that type of relationship. And I know that doesn't make me happy. And I believe that life-giving energy, if we keep moving forward in truth and love, if life is about learning lessons, the new path will manifest in my life, because I'm not meant to stay in stagnant, stuck energy. Now, we could stay in stagnant, stuck energy if we keep trying to get people who've already show us by the way they live their life that they're not on the same page as us. Well, then that'll keep us in stagnant, stuck energy because we're fearful. We'd rather deal with the devil we know than face the devil we don't know. If you look at life as a video game where you overcome these obstacles at the level, like a Mario game back in the day, and then you go to the next level, yeah, there's going to be more obstacles and challenges. But if you get in a relationship with people who have learned some of the life lessons you've learned, and they have hope and faith and belief and love, you let love and intuition guide you through those things. Everybody's going to have our layers of our worldly nature is unending, And so new fears, new insecurities, because it's new territory. We haven't been there before. It is going to instill fear, bubble up some fears and insecurity in us and the people we're moving forward with or that we meet. But if people have learned that if I get caught up in my defensive nature, my ego nature, my immature nature, my lack mentality nature, I'm going to go back and repeat an old pattern, and I don't want to repeat an old pattern. I'm going to stay focused on truth and love and intuition and treating other people the way I like to be treated, offer love to myself, offer encouragement to myself, be like my own best mother, father, coach voice in my head, than my belittling, berating, lack mentality voice that I can't do it. And those are the people that I want to be in a relationship with. So what's coming up for the people who harness some high vibe Gemini energy? There could be people in your life and in your family right now that are working with you, and it's just for some of them to, as everybody does this, everybody works through their own fears and insecurities as they keep detaching from old ways of viewing life and maybe aligning with their more worldly nature of thinking, no, I should work with these things of the world. I'm smart. I think I can get the things I want without having hope and faith and belief and love and listening to my intuition. I'm the boss. I can get it done. I can create it. But, we in our ego, pride comes before the fall. We can try to manipulate the system. We can try to change people. It's like, I'm done trying to change people. I'm going to go enjoy my life, listen to my intuition, enjoy the people in my life who are treating me in a just and fair way, who are being authentic and loving and supportive. And those are the people I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to offer love and treat other people with love and respect that I meet to see if there's anybody new who wants to move forward with me in this way. But I'm going to keep staying focused on truth and love as the guiding factor for the decisions I make. Who I invest my time, energy, and effort into. The people who I know are kind of shadowy or got some lessons learned, I'm going to wish them peace, but they're not who I'm going to get in a more involved relationship. They're an acquaintance, somebody I know. What's coming up for the people who harness some high vibe Gemini energy that they might not see coming up? The Ten of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, and the Star card because of the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is like willing to be a student of life. You know, the tens can represent completions. I've already lived my life at a certain phase of life, viewing life a certain way, living my life a certain way. And it got to be where it was kind of like stagnant and dead and stuck. And I was willing to do this inner work, to work through my own fears and insecurities about detaching from that phase of life, just like we did, like age 15, going to age 18. I got to quit acting and thinking and behaving like a 15-year-old. I'm ready to be like an 18-year-old. I am willing to detach from that old foundation and way of viewing life to go on this new journey, having hope and faith and belief in my dreams. I think I can do it. I think I can take on the responsibilities now of being more like an 18-year-old, you know, metaphorically, if that's the right word. And then in the Five of Pentacles, kind of like the victim mentality, I am willing to take the lessons I've learned from that life experience. I kind of looked at all the different things about living my life at that stage of life. What were the good things I want to take with me? What were the things I need to leave behind? And I sift through these things, just like we can sift through habits that we have, attitudes that we have, ways of viewing life that we have, and people in our life. Who are the people I really want to invest more time and energy into, and who are maybe the people I don't want to invest as much time, energy, and effort into anymore? Who wants me to keep aligning with this old way of viewing life, and who's willing to move forward with me, looking at life from a higher perspective, having some hope and faith and belief in themselves, and having all three of your earth sign energies, your Virgo, your Capricorn, your Taurus energy, all on board saying, let's go to that next phase of life. Let's go to the next level and face our fears and insecurities. Let's keep looking at life from the bigger picture. Let's keep willing to believe we can heal. Keep just things in perspective. Aquarius energy can be about keeping things in perspective. Let's look at the big picture. I'm probably going to live for 80 years. You know, let's put my fears into context. If I am going to leave a friendship or relationship, will I maybe meet some other people in my future? Yes. Do I need to meet them today or in the next year? No. You know, it takes time to meet people who are on the same page as you. And in the meantime, I have my own unique talent, skills, and interest in other things that inspire me and motivate me. You know, I can focus on my career. I can focus on my unique talents. I can focus on other people in my life, helping other people move forward with me in this way that are kind of on the same page as me. And I'm going to speak my truth maybe to people in my life who I think could be more immature, who keep wanting to tempt me maybe in my more worldly nature, egoic nature, materialistic, lustful, codependent, indulging people in poor behavior nature. It's like, no. Because I've already seen the truth of that. I've already been there and I've done that, and I know I don't like it. So you're going to have to find someone else who's willing to kind of indulge you in that way of viewing life or living life or views of relationships or whatever, because that, I realize, isn't my dream. And I'm going to stand up for my dream. And then I think as you're doing that, there's going to be different people in the world who are going to want to invest in you. Some of them, I'm the next person who wants to come indulge in a relationship. Won't you indulge me? Can't I use these things of the world, my looks or my charm or my money or whatever, or that I'll have sex with you, you know, get you to be in a relationship with me? It's like, no. I want to be in relationships with people who aren't using their things of the world to get people to be in a relationship with them, to tempt them in their worldly nature. I want people who are inspired by truth and love and their dreams. And yours seem to be about you or the world, or ego, or image, or codependency. And I don't want to be in those type of relationships. And there's going to be other people who are going to want to move forward with you, and you're just going to listen to your intuition about who's who. Not just anybody's coming over here. I have learned to appreciate what I bring to the table. And I could know that I'm a loving, nurturing, giving, supportive person. And I'm not just going to indulge anyone. It has to be someone who's on the same page as me. Someone else who's willing to be a student of life. Get out of their ego to admit that maybe they have some healing and growing and maturing to do too. Who want to go on this adventure where it's not about like the status quo and following this rule book and, well, you're supposed to act like this and then I'm supposed to act like that. And then, this is how my parents did it and this is how my family did it and this is how my friends do it. It's like, oh my gosh, do you want to work together cooperatively from a place of love and we'll just figure it out without, shadowy Taurus energy can be all these like rules and regulations. It's like, how about we let love and intuition guide us? How about, we're these two hopeful, believing people that work cooperatively together with love, and we get rid of all the rules and the regulations and we let love and intuition and character and integrity and hope and faith and belief and justice and fairness guide the decisions that we make. And there's going to be other people who are going to want to invest in you because they've dealt with people who were trying to make them live their life differently too, that wasn't aligned with their truth, and their truth aligns with your truth. But we got to quit investing our time, energy, and effort. We wish people peace, love, and joy. You're an acquaintance. Am I going to date you? Am I going to marry you? No. Because the only people I'm going to invest more time and energy with and move forward with and in that way are people who are on the same page as me. And there's some people that won't. Some people could feel that these loving, nurturing people in their life, that they missed an opportunity, but they just weren't willing to step out of their comfort zone. They maybe weren't willing to offer love and encouragement to themselves and forgiveness to free themselves from things that manipulate them, or if they needed professional help, they weren't willing to go get the professional help. And some of them, it is more about playing it safe, just kind of being in relationships where they are able to be immature, or they're indulging someone for the status or the image, or they have someone who's willing to indulge them in a relationship for the status or the image or whatever, and by worldly standards, it could look good. And they're just unwilling to let go of the mask. High vibe energy is illuminating the truth. Some people would have to speak their truth. When someone is holding one pentacle, it means they saw the truth. And the earth sign energies are about taking action in the world. People would have to reveal the truth, speak the truth. They would have had to have done this work within themselves, and all those things could be what stops them. And we see the truth of it in their free will. That's not what they're willing to do. We wish them peace and we move on. Apparently, God's got other people planned for in my life because you're not on the same page as me, and I can only have my dreams come into reality with people who are on the same page as me. So apparently it's not you. Okay, God, I accept it. Let's go on this new beginning. What's coming up for some of the people who harness a more worldly, shadowy Gemini energy that they might not see coming up? Well, for one, they didn't think that some of the people in their life would be inspired to get in the driver's seat of their life and get emotionally balanced within themselves, because shadowy energy can be that you're tipped out of balance, more in favor of the world or your fear or your insecurity or your codependent nature. They didn't realize that people would be inspired. Maybe some of those people got professional help. But the thing is, we have all these different people in the world, and even if it's not people in the world, there's books, there's movies, there's music, there's artwork, there's nature. All these things try to inspire us to work through these issues within ourselves, to love and believe in ourselves. And some people were inspired by love to do the work within themselves, to get emotionally balanced within themselves, to love their more immature worldly nature, to get in the driver's seat of their life. I don't want these things to manipulate me or other people to manipulate me. I'm going to offer myself love and compassion and forgiveness for the lessons I needed to learn, for the mistakes I made. I'm going to offer love and compassion to the people in my life that still have their lessons to learn. And I'm going to move forward victoriously. High Vibe Chariot is about operating from a foundation of love, Cancer energy. Life's an adventure. Life's about learning lessons. We all make mistakes. So do other people. See the truth. Love ourselves. Believe in ourselves. Don't give up on our dreams. Distance ourselves from some people in our life who are trying to keep us in our fear or insecurity or our pride or our ego or our immature, indulgent, lustful nature. And align with the people in our life who aren't trying to manipulate us, who are trying to encourage us to do this work within ourselves to free ourselves, because they want us to become all we can be. And some of the people that are shocked that some people did this work within themselves and that they're moving on. And they probably offered this person love and they were like, no, no. I don't think you'll love and believe in yourself. I don't think you'll go. Or you might go for a while, but I think you'll come back. And some people are like, no. I'm done trying to convince other people to work with me in this way. You either work with me in this way, authentically, or we're not on the same page. So some people right now did move away. Some people already did move away. Some people are having these new beginnings. Some people are detaching. Some people are getting in new jobs, friendships, and relationships and investing in the life of their dreams, moving forward victoriously. Some people are just in the process of doing that. Some people are just at the stage of getting out of something that's they felt was manipulating them to do this work within themselves, so that then they can feel stable and grounded within themselves enough to go communicate with some people who they think are on the same page as them. What some of the shadowy people also might not see coming is there's going to be other people who want to move forward with them in a relationship, because there's a lot of people who have lessons to learn in life, right? And yeah, this might look victorious and successful. But they could have another loving person that just has some lessons to learn in life, and this whole pattern is going to repeat itself again. But they might have some people coming towards them who are kind of on the same page as them, who are more about shadowy Cancer energy, about using their emotions manipulatively in a relationship, who are just presenting themselves as more stable and grounded and emotionally mature than they are. I want to look like I've moved forward. I want to look like I've had a victory, And some of these people are like, Cool. Let's get in a relationship. This makes me look like I've moved forward victoriously too. You know, people either do the inner work to authentically have new beginnings based on truth and love. Other people just want to have new beginnings to make it look like they've moved on, they've healed, they've grown, they've matured. Look how successful and victorious they are. But they're the exact same person that they were in the last relationship or the last job. They haven't done any of this inner work. So it's like repeating an old pattern. Nothing's changed, different faces, different people, the same old thing. And some of those people, that's how they want to be because they're an immature player, male or female. I don't want to do life any differently. I don't want to deal with my fears and insecurities. I don't want to detach from this way of living life or viewing relationships. I've had things in my life that didn't work out the way I wanted. I ignore my intuition now, basically, because I didn't learn the lesson from that life experience I was meant to learn. And I'm just going to play it safe. I just want to be in a relationship. To be in a relationship, if it works for me, it looks good for my ego and my image, I'll stay in it. If I got someone in a relationship with me that if I indulge them, they'll stay in it. Or I have someone willing to indulge me and they'll stay in it. They're not going anywhere. Perfect. So long as it looks good by worldly standards, some people are willing to indulge people. And there are people who kind of had the opportunity to manifest their dreams into reality, but they're kind of going to settle for the illusion. So there you go, Gemini energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.